If you're not familiar with Phyllis Hyman, I highly recommend you get familiar with Phyllis Hyman, learn her music, learn her life story, and just understand that this woman, even though she couldn't see it, we all knew just how wonderful and special she was. And wherever her spirit is, I hope it is flying free because she. What's going on, everybody? You're right on time for another ride on the Groove Line with your host, Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there this Sunday morning. And if this is your first time tuning in, On the Groove Line is a music podcast that discusses music from the past and present with the aim on hip hop, R&B, jazz, funk, disco, hip hop, soul, neo soul, EDM, all things in that lane. So, if you want to stick around for some good conversation, you're more than welcome to do so. Be sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop. We drop videos fairly regularly around here. And don't forget to like and comment on the stuff that you enjoy or you want to discuss because, well, I talk back in the comments. And we usually have good conversations in the comments. So be sure to do that. And, of course, this is Sunday. It is July 6th. So we today are honoring the late, great Phyllis Hyman. She was born on this day in 1949, born in Philadelphia, raised in Pittsburgh, made her way down to Miami, went around the world as a wonderful singer and a stage artist, by the way. She won a Tony, I believe, in 1981. For I want to say Sophisticated Ladies. I could be wrong, but I think that's what she won a Tony for in 81. That's the year I was born, actually. Golly. But I think the thing that resonates with Phyllis the most about people is just the pain and the torment and the torture that she went through. Of course, last week was the 30th anniversary of her passing, which of course was by suicide, unfortunately. And she was a tortured soul. I always say she was the voice of heartbreak. Because if you listen to just how painful her vocals are, even the beautiful stuff, which we're going to get into today, it's just amazing that this woman didn't feel the love, that so many people had for her. And I understand that. I mean, I get it. This is not one of those shows, and I'm not one of those people who judges, anyone with mental illness because I've dealt with some depressive issues in my day. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, everything's been peaches and cream in my mind or in my heart all the time. But it just hurt to know that Phyllis just couldn't see the beauty that people saw in her. But people will deal with that a lot. And that's why I don't really judge. I mean, it's tragic. I mean, it's absolutely tragic when people choose that route, but it's their choice to make at the end of the day. It's really not for us to sit around and speculate about. Instead of wondering why they did it, try to understand what made them do it. That's the key. And that's my 2 cents. That's actually the name of my official YouTube channel, Chris's 2 cents. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on Phyllis Hyman and how she chose to end things. That's perfectly her choice. Doesn't make her any less of a person. Doesn't make her a villain. It doesn't. I mean, I'm not real religious, so I'm not one of those people that says, where you go after you die, how you get there is really none of us really knows for sure. But Phyllis, aside from that, Phyllis Hyman was a wonderful musician, a stage actor, someone that people loved. Her sense of humor was legendary. And let's not forget, the woman was absolutely fine. I mean, we're talking about 6'1", 6'2", golly. And I think that's probably, when you think of Phyllis, man, just think about, this is a woman who came of age during Jim Crow, being taller than all of her peers and being loud and outspoken. And that wasn't a position that Black women really took back then, especially young Black girls. I mean, if you read, I highly recommend this. If you can get your hands on it, it's I think it's out of print right now. But if you can get a copy of it, an author by the name of Jason Michael wrote a book called Strength of a Woman. It's Phyllis Hyman's unauthorized, unofficial biography, but there's so many people in the joint, like her siblings, her friends, her producers, her, the folks she worked with. So, I mean, it might as well be her official biography. But yeah, Strength of a Woman by Jason Michael. Highly recommend you read that book if you want to find out more insight about Phyllis. But just everything about her just seemed to be larger than life. And that probably weighed a lot on her, especially we're talking about a tall Black woman, a tall, outspoken Black woman in a predominantly white male industry. And it just ate her alive. I mean, not everybody comes out of the music business or entertainment or show business in great shape. And Phyllis, unfortunately, was no exception. But we're going to talk about the stuff that made Phyllis great and that made her all loved by us. And that's the music. So I have 10 10 of my favorite Phyllis Hyman songs in the order that I've ranked them in. And hopefully you guys enjoy these rankings. But we're going to start with some honorable mentions because Phyllis had so many bangers in her catalog. It was hard to narrow it down to 10. So here are your honorable mentions. Living in Confusion from the Prime of My Life album in 1991. Her cover of The Stylistics, Betcha by Golly Wow, from her self-titled debut in 77, which was produced by Norman Connors, by the way. I Refuse to Be Lonely, which was released after her death in 1995. Just, that's probably one of the most painful songs she's ever sung. Can't We Fall in Love Again with Michael Henderson from 1981. No One Can Love You More from self-titled in 77. What You Won't Do for Love, her cover of Bobby Caldwell's smash hit from the Living All Alone album, and the title track of Prime of My Life. I'll talk more about why Prime of My Life was such a transcendent album in the life of young Chris Stevens in a minute. But we're going to get to the top 10 now. And again, my top 10 might be different from your Phyllis Hyman top 10. So if you think I missed one, if you feel like honorable mention should replace something in the top 10, feel free to leave a comment. So let's get started. Number 10, the title track from 1978's Somewhere in My Lifetime, which was produced by Barry Manilow, of all people. Wow. This is Phyllis's second album from 1978, by the way, because she had Sing a Song, because she originally signed with Buddha Records in 1976 and released her self-titled debut in 77 and Sing a Song early in 78. But Buddha ended up being bought out by Arista Records, which was a new big label, which was formed by Clive Davis, who, of course, had rebounded after being fired by CBS in 1973. So Clive Davis brings all the Buddha folks along, and Phyllis comes along with him. And Barry Manilow wants to produce her, and that's where Somewhere in My Lifetime comes from. And that song, it's just another one of those heartbreak songs, somewhere in my lonely dream, you've been here with me before. It's just listen to it, and you just feel that even though she was 28, 29 at the time, something about, what she was going through just troubled her, throughout her entire life. And, you get a good glimpse into the life of Phyllis Hyman, her longing for romance on that joint. Number 9, The Answer Is You. This was on both Sing a Song and Somewhere in My Lifetime. It was just easier for me to keep the Somewhere in My Lifetime graphic up. So yes, this one was on Sing a Song first, but then when Clive bought her contract, they bought some of the other stuff from the Sing a Song from the Buddha sessions over to her Arista debut. And Somewhere in My Lifetime was the title track, but The Answer Is You is just another one of those great songs. And this one, it doesn't sound very heartbroken, but it's like she knows that love is on the way. Where have you been all my life? I was nothing, I was nowhere till you came along and made things right. Like, this is what love is all about right here. Number 8, the title track from 1986 is Living All Alone. And I don't think you can get any more deep in a bag on a song than Phyllis Hyman was on this one, even though there are a few more on the countdown that I tend to think about in that vein. But the whistle at the end, the whistle register, and it's Phyllis whistling. I mean, it's not anybody, it's not any instrument, it's not anybody else. It is Phyllis Hyman whistling at the end of Living All Alone. I mean, the woman was just a talent, man, an incredible talent. This was her first record on, I guess you'd call it the reborn Philadelphia International Records, because Philly International kind of took a break after they lost their CBS deal earlier in the decade. But, Kenny, Leon, more so Kenny and Tommy Bell, they sort of got the band back together, a little, shrunken down version of the band, but still a really good version nonetheless. And this is not the first time this album will appear in the countdown. But yeah, the title track is just, yesterday I was somebody's baby. Now today I'm a woman on my own. I can't stand this living all alone. A relatable song for a lot of people in those times, because you got to remember the mid 80s is when the independent woman really took off. And men were screwing up, and women were like, why can't y'all just do right? Like, Jesus Christ. That's how women feel in 2025. Number 7, Under Your Spell from 1979's You Know How to Love Me. This was her only album that she did with James and Toomey and Reggie Lucas, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I've always said, as a singer, you can be good at one thing, but if you're good at both, I'm talking about ballads, slow jams, and up-tempo dance floor stuff, then you're a singer. And Phyllis Hyman absolutely was a singer. And Under Your Spell was just a fun record. She's talking about walks in the park, a Disney movie. Because remember, this is back when ABC used to run the Wonderful World of Disney forever. In fact, I think they still do it on Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. I know they did it when I was a kid, but the Wonderful World of Disney used to be a thing, right after dinner, in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. But yes, just that, level of admiration for somebody, I'm just falling, baby, falling under your spell. Like, again, and 2 Million Lucas was in the pot on that album. Imagine how good you have to be to have a 1979 like James and 2 Million Reggie Lucas did as a songwriting duo. We already talked about what they did for Stephanie Mills on What You Gonna Do With My Lovin', and then they gave Phyllis Hyman one of her first major albums. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Number 6, we go back to Living All Alone, and You Just Don't Know. This one is a Tony Brown WDAS Quiet Storm special. Tony used to play this on Thursdays all the time, and it quickly became one of my favorite Phyllis songs because, again, that longing for romance, just incredible. Like, the second verse, you cannot imagine what it's like landing on my evenings by the TV guy. Because, before we had streaming, people used to have to go to the store, the grocery store, and get this little book called the TV Guide. And then, because, you'd have to look through it and see, all right, what's on TV tonight? What's on TV tomorrow night? What's on TV Thursday? What's on TV Saturday? So, I mean, imagine a woman that has missed her lover. Let me show you how I've missed you. Let me give you all the love. You just don't know what I've been going through. You just don't know how I've been missing. Yeah, just awesome song. Number 5, the title track from You Know How to Love Me. This was one of the last real disco records of the 1970s. This one came out in the summer of 79. And the first verse, it really kicks off with Phyllis, I think I just love the way it starts because you get the instrumental, here comes Phyllis. Measure for measure, your love so much pleasure, like a haunting melody. On and on it goes. Just, when you need to start a song with conviction. And Phyllis started You Know How to Love Me with conviction. It was her first top 15 hit. And she got stuck on the number 12 spot for some strange reason for a long time. Her only number 1 single, I left off an honorable mention because it just didn't feel like Phyllis Hyman. It just felt like, early 90s when everybody was trying to get R&B folks to do rap. And she even had a verse on this song called Just Want to Be Your Girl. I mean, Don't Want to Change the World. I mean, yeah, it went number 1. I mean, Phyllis Hyman had a number 1, but so many other great songs deserved a number 1. Not taking anything away from Don't Want to Change the World, but it just felt like a cheap number 1, even though some Phyllis fans will disagree with me on that. And I perfectly understand that. Number 4, we get back into the heartbreak lane once again. And this is her version. I don't know if she did it first or the Dramatics did it first. But I do know that I prefer Phyllis's version of I Don't Want to Lose You over the Dramatics. I say the Dramatics version is bad. But Phyllis just tapped into another realm on this one. I mean, the pre-chorus on the second verse goes, maybe you'll never find the secrets of your mind, but you gotta try. Yet I realize, and I'll help you all I can. Like, she knows that this lover of hers just has to go out there and see what's in the world. Like, she gets it, but if you need somebody to lean on, I'm still here for you. Because I don't want to lose you. I love you as you are. Just chills. Now this one, whew, man, when I tell you this was a missed opportunity for her legend song, even though it is her legend song in many people's opinions, I think it's mine too, but it just didn't get the promotion that it should have. Meet Me on the Moon was probably the most beautiful song in Phyllis's catalog. And she's got a lot of great ones in her catalog. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like Meet Me on the Moon was just so special. Just every time you hear it, even, I mean, this is one of those ones when you hear that, that first little, tinge of, keyboard, and then you hear Phyllis, Meet Me on the Moon. And it's like, that's where we're going with this, man. That's where we're going with this love. Fly to my love. That's what I need. So my spirit can be free. Like, I don't know how you listen to that song and don't want to fall in love. I don't know how you don't. It's crazy. I mean, it's just one of the most beautiful songs that I can think of from an early 90s Quiet Storm perspective. And it doesn't get enough love even today. Even today, it's still one of the classics from that original Quiet Storm era. Number 2, this is my favorite off of Prime of My Life. And this is Kenny Gamble's last gasp as a major songwriter. Of course, he co-wrote this with a former MFSB member, Roland Chambers. When I Give My Love This Time. When I hear this song, I have it on my summer night walk playlist because every time that song pops up, I have to sing it. And I need to be out singing it. So if somebody's outside in my hometown on the summer nights and they hear me singing this, just ignore me. But it's just so beautiful. Phyllis talking about all the things that she's going to do the second time around. When she gives her love this time, she's going to think it through and be more sure and make it last forevermore. 6.5 minutes of beauty. It's just Phyllis, talking about, the book of life, the book of love. To be hurt by love is too painful to mention, but you learn from experience. Don't we all? And number 1, this song will move you to tears. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you hate love. I don't care if you hate romance. I don't care if you're a jokester, you laugh and play all the time. You hear those first piano keys from Tom Bell, and then the synths come in, and here comes Phyllis. A million times or more I've thought about you. You get choked up. I'm getting choked up talking about it. Talking about Old Friend. That's number 1 on this countdown. This song, it's quintessential Phyllis Hyman, man. It's really that simple. It has heartbreaking origins because it was one of the last songs that Linda Creed wrote. Linda Creed, of course, was a legendary songwriter who wrote with Tom Bell for a lot of the Stylistics' biggest hits on Philly International. And, well, actually, the Stylistics were signed through Atco, so Tom and Linda really wrote just as, conduits of Philly soul for Atco Records at the time. But yeah, Linda Creed had breast cancer, and she passed away in April of '86. This song was the first single in August of '86, and she never got the chance to see the success of this song, how the song just resonated with people. And Phyllis, it was an emotional time whenever she would perform this song because she would always dedicate it to Linda Creed. So just the way this song, I mean, it's really about circling the block. It's circling the block in just a classy, yearning way. And just everything about it. Tom Bell, God rest his soul, that man, when he put together a ballad, that man put together a ballad, boy. I mean, we're talking about he does the synths. He does the keyboards. His nephew Leroy is on the percussions. It's just unbelievable. And, Kenny and Tommy really tried to, give Phyllis that big hit. I mean, Kenny Gamble, to his credit, never stopped trying to make Phyllis Hyman pop, even after the industry had thrown her away. And she had 2 great albums on Philly International until, life just got to be too tough for her. And I mean, Old Friend is one of those songs that you can only listen to once in a while if you're an emotional person, me. And it just makes you long for the times you had with someone special if they're not in your life anymore. But if you've been fortunate enough to get them back, it's very triumphant. It's, oh man, it's so special. Let me stop before I get emotional on this podcast. But yeah, those are the top 10 Phyllis Hyman songs for me on the Groove Line. I mean, hopefully you guys can just listen to these songs. If you're not familiar with Phyllis Hyman, I highly recommend you get familiar with Phyllis Hyman, learn her music, learn her life story, and just understand that this woman, even though she couldn't see it, we all knew just how wonderful and special she was. And wherever her spirit is, I hope it is flying free, because she deserved that. She had so much trouble in life that it just got to be too much for her. And again, there are people who feel that same way, and we can't judge them for that. We can't step in someone else's skin. We can only walk in the shoes we've been given. And for Phyllis, the shoes were just wearing her down. But as far as artists go, as far as singers go, she's got to be in everybody's top 10. Like, just the talent, just the skill level in her voice and the way she would emote in her songs. Undefeated, man. Just an incredible talent, and she's missed every day. So on her 76th birthday, we say happy heavenly birthday, Phyllis, and we thank you for the music, we thank you for the life lessons, and we thank you for the good times. And wherever your spirit is, may it fly free. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Groove Line. Thank y'all for riding with me. As always, contact information will be in the description below. Again, be sure to like and comment on the videos. What do you think about my Phyllis Hyman top 10? How does your top 10 look? Feel free to put it in the comments. And don't forget to like the video. That helps the algorithm pop. And if you're new, subscribe and tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop. As you can see, we drop stuff pretty regularly around here. So thank you for riding with me on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, y'all be good or be good at it.